graduated high school June 1st, 2017. My brother got killed June 4th, 2017.
I was actually a survivor of gun violence and domestic violence. And so, you know, that resulted in me being shot 4 times. My mother was shot twice, and my little brother witnessed this from the backseat. I took that energy and I really just turned it into passion. I turned that pain into passion.
Just take a look within and recognize that the power you hold and the way that God made you is no mistake, and you are made to spread love.
What are you preparing yourself for today for your future self at the end of 2025?
The quicker you change yourself, the quicker I change myself, the automatic change happens.
Document your story, remember your story, feel those moments of your story.
Like the scripture says, without a vision, you perish, right?
So just walking by faith and not by sight throughout the whole thing, through the bad and the good.
Sharing the space with all the like-minded individuals, all the young leaders that we expect to help our next generation to grow and develop.
Giving back to the community, showing love, you know, just trying to teach the game, financial literacy.
What Zion said, you know, going in front of the youth, going in front of people and showing them this.
People talk about stocks and business is too complicated and they don't really resonate to us. But with us being in Gen Z and in college, we can resonate with a lot of people.
Shout out to Eye of the Trenches because he getting everything.
Look! This is the Eye of the Trenches!
It's Black History Month. You know, young entrepreneurs, young leaders, we're going to be discussing, networking, dropping game, sharing information, man, on how to break these generational curses. You know what I mean? It's been curses that have been plaguing our communities for so long because we have a lack of resources and we have a lack of knowledge. But tonight all of that ends, right? We talk about it, we don't keep it to ourselves, and we share it, right? So we sharing knowledge and we sharing information, man. Got a lot of young entrepreneurs. Another one just walked in. What's going on, bro?
At the gym,
you know, yeah. So we gonna have it's gonna be a time, man. It's gonna be a time.
As soon as I walked in, it just felt good, bro. You felt the energy, bro. You felt the black excellence in the room, bro. It ain't even started yet.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's all about just building together, continuing to grow, and continue to build a community because we all living on our phones, we all doing our own thing, but why not collaborate and build something amazing?
Y'all know what happened when great minds get together. Y'all know Black Wall Street. Y'all know what happened when great minds get together. So,
how you feeling, bro?
Feeling great, amazing, man. We at the event. I'm speaking later, you know. I'm just blessed to be a part of this. Shout out Corey, shout out Ian for all this, man. Shout out Social Storm. I know how we coming, man.
Yes, indeed.
Yes, sir.
So you spoke on the word community. So what does community mean to you?
To me, community being able to utilize each other's skill sets in order to work together towards a common goal, to be able to continue to go towards our own initiatives. We see a lot of things within media, within culture, within society forcing us apart, but we have a lot more things in common than we do apart. And the more we continue to collaborate and talk to each other and share ideas, then the more we can build. And we continue to normalize building community, then we can change the trajectory of where we go in the future.
Absolutely.
If you could inform the people, what is Social Storm for those that don't know?
Yeah, so Social Storm is a media company where we educate teens and young adults about investing in financial literacy for economic growth. We see a lot of times throughout the world where we see a lot of information. It's usually geared towards people not being very productive. It's teachers towards negativity, and we want to provide a platform for entrepreneurs to learn about financial literacy, personal, physical and mental wellness at the same time in a way they can understand. A lot of people talk about stocks and business is too complicated and they don't really resonate to us. But with us being in Gen Z and in college, we can resonate with a lot of people in the next generation and be positive influence that we need within media, so we can see that in the next generation of leaders through mentorship, through platform, through events, through podcasts, so we can teach other young people to be leaders and grow within our community.
Absolutely. So introduce yourself, brother.
What's going on, family? My name is Ian Alphonse. Currently, I'm a health science student at North Central College, and today, man, I'm grateful to be here in this space, sharing the space with all the like-minded individuals, all the young leaders that we expect to help our next generation to grow and develop.
Absolutely. So you're still in college, I heard?
Yeah. So currently, I'm a sophomore at North Central College.
CEO in college.
You say what?
CEO in college.
Yeah. Yeah. So I got some years to go.
Absolutely. So how did you all meet?
So what's crazy is I had put on my notes on Instagram. I needed to get some students at UIC to record a video.
Right.
So I had put on my notes like who's at UIC, and Corey had commented on it. He was like, "What's going on at UIC?" So I told him what I was looking for, and we just started talking, and then like the energy was just genuine. You know, like once you send a message, somebody will leave you on deliver like for 20 minutes and then respond. He wasn't doing that. Like he'd read it then respond. So like we was going back and forth, and we created like a strong dialogue. I asked him, I said, I noticed you do X, Y, and Z, man, and I do X, Y, and Z. We could work something out. He said the same thing. He said he saw what I was doing, and so the ball started going from there. And he told me about Ian. He said it's his business partner.
I was close.
You know. So then we all actually hopped on a Zoom call a couple days later, and we had a meeting, had another Zoom meeting, and then they talked about this event and invited me to be a panelist or a guest at this event. So it really came from just peeping game,
right.
peeping what each other is doing, and then we just wanted to help one another. These are two black brothers striving to do something positive. So they're doing it in their way, I'm doing it in my way, and so that's how it became organic.
Absolutely. So may I ask you this? What's the power of using social media to build networking events like this?
Man, praise be to Allah. It allows you to reach somebody that's not close to you, all right? And it enables you to get close to them. You know what I mean? North Central's in Naperville. I've never been there. You know what I'm saying? But through using social media, now I can through connecting with them, reach people in Naperville and vice versa. You get what I'm saying? Reach people in a college setting. You get what I'm saying? So I think just using social media in a positive way, using it to network like we about to do here with other individuals in person, I think using social media to network can help people that are far, bring them closer together.
Right on.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you.
Absolutely.
Hey, brother. Much love.
Absolutely.
Hey, I was blessed enough to, you feel me, be a speaker at this amazing event hosted by my brothers Corey and Ian. You feel me? We get mentored by the same lady, actually, woman. You know, shout out to Angel. She helped us.
Able to speak up a little bit, bro?
Oh man, you know I got you. We both being mentored by this woman named Angel. You feel me? She truly an angel. I ain't gonna lie, like she helping us balance everything. But I met Corey and Ian on Instagram. You feel me? Just cause they seen what I was doing. You know, they doing the same thing, trying to push financial literacy and educate our communities more and more. You know what I'm saying? So that's what all our goal is here today. You know what I'm saying? And we networking. And the thing about it is, it's starting right here. You feel me? And now we networking and finding ways how we can continue to push it out to our community, so our communities can learn about this more. You know what I'm saying? And these events get bigger and bigger and bigger, man. And then shout out to Out of the Trenches, because he getting everything. He getting the trenches, he getting these type of events. You know what I'm saying? So there's more work coming. You feel me?
Hey, I came to support my boy, man. You know, you told me slide, so I slid, man. You know.
What support mean to you, man?
What support mean to me, you know, giving back to the community, showing love, you know, just trying to teach the game, financial literacy. I feel like that's the main thing, though, to help our people, man. They all start with financial literacy. You know, I feel like that's the main thing, though, about financial literacy, bro.
Appreciate you. You know, I just had to get a few words.
Right. You know it, man.
Final panelist before Ian will be our event moderator will be Zion King. Zion King is a captivating self-development coach who specializes in helping youth prepare for life beyond academics. As a graduate of Kentucky State University, former educator and college advisor, Zion identified as a universal challenge, students struggling to determine their life purpose. His journey includes overcoming significant personal obstacles, including loss of a close childhood friend, just days after high school graduation. Despite this tragedy, Zion preserved excelling in college, where he served an student government association and became a proud member of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated.
I get it right.
His professional experiences spans teaching in Chicago's South and West Side public schools and serving as a student program advisor for TRIO programs at the University of Illinois Chicago. Zion specializes in teaching others how to actualize their ideas through solid action plans, frequently reminding his audience that success is already deposited in you. You just have to cultivate what's already within. Welcome to the stage.
So, as it relates to you guys' personal journey, I wanted to know, each of you all have overcame significant personal challenges on you guys' own path to leadership. I wanted you all to share a pivotal moment that transformed your perspective and shaped your leadership approach today.
I think a pivotal moment that I have had to overcome was really just recognizing the potential and the excellence that I hold within myself. I think all of us hear all of these narratives about entrepreneurship, and especially being young, that, you know, it's so hard, you don't get a break throughout the day, it's for true leaders. And growing up, I just never thought of myself as an entrepreneur. I never thought that I would have the grit and the determination to do it. And I grew up in a family of educators, so I saw college education, but I didn't necessarily see how people could make it happen and have a business that thrived. And, you know, growing up, we are taught to go to college and get our 9 to 5 and work for your 40 years so you can get your good pension, and you can live and start living and going on vacation at 65. But, you know, I just really did some self-discovery while I was in school, and I was on all these leadership boards, and, you know, a lot of people just naturally looked to me while I was on campus, and I just realized that I had everything that it took. So I think just overcoming the limits that you put on yourself is so important, and the identity that you tell yourself is exactly what you're going to become. So I think it's very important to speak positive words to yourself and tell yourself exactly what you want to be and show up as that every day.
Sullivan. And 12 years ago, I was actually a survivor of gun violence and domestic violence. And so, you know, that resulted in me being shot 4 times. My mother was shot twice, and my little brother witnessed this from the back seat. And so I was 15 years old at the time. I was a sophomore in high school, and that changed my life, right? They didn't think I was going to make it. They gave me less than 1% chance to live. I had to learn how to walk again, talk again. And in that moment, you know, I was frustrated. I didn't understand why that had to happen to me. To my knowledge, I was a good kid. You know, I didn't deserve that. And but now, you know, years later, I see why God had me go through that, because He was molding me to be a leader at such a young age. And so, you know, I took that energy and I really just turned it into passion. I turned that pain into passion. And so that's really what drives me. Just wanting to give back to my community. Wanted to be that role model, or that big brother that someone can come and talk to, or see that they're leading by example. And yeah, just be a positive light in the world. And so, yeah, that's a little bit about me.
I would say a pivotal moment for me was when I lost my best friend. I graduated, I'm from Indianapolis, Indiana. So I graduated high school June 1st, 2017. My brother got killed June 4th, 2017. So I went to Kentucky State University, but I went to college mad and depressed. And I didn't really know what my purpose was in life, but I knew I wanted to be something. And I was battling making a decision, right? Finding my purpose and then walking in that journey. And so when he passed, after I got out of my feelings, right, for that semester or two, I had to tell myself, well, you got to make a decision or you're going to be just like him, right? He didn't have a proper vision. Like the scripture says, without a vision, you perish, right? And so I knew I had to get my act together. I knew I had to turn it into something. And so that was like that aha moment, I guess, for me, that if I don't figure out my life, if I don't take control of my life, I'm going to end up just like him. So that was the pivotal moment for me. At the time, it was the hardest thing in life, dealing with grief. But now I see that maybe it had to happen, right? And the way it did at the time, it did because it produced a fire in me, which makes me feel like it's my duty to show others how to find their purpose and walk in their own journey. So.
Work with the youth initiatives and Zion's experience with high school and collegiate students. how do you think leadership needs to evolve to effectively connect and inspire younger generations moving forward? So we're going back, ladies first.
It's like move your hand. We can just go back. Okay, we'll go back. All right. Okay, we'll do the opposite this time. For me, I would say getting to where the youth is. Getting in those spaces and making it attractive, making it relatable. I find that to be the best for me. I'm in the school system now, but I'm also in the Nation of Islam, so I spend a lot of time in our communities, in the streets, helping to resurrect our people who are mentally and spiritually dead. You get what I'm saying? That don't have no direction in life. So I can't do that from Instagram. I can't do that from Facebook. I can't do that from my house. You know what I mean? I gotta get in front of them. Then you have another demographic of students that are school students, right? They not in the streets, right? So I gotta do it behind the desk. I gotta do it in the office. I gotta do it in the cubicle. So I think getting to where the people are is where we make that shift, and appealing to them by being relatable and attractive. I think that's where we'll start to see a shift happen, because I think a lot of times we do the preaching, we try to help people from afar. We gotta get up right in their face like we are tonight, face to face. And I think we'll start seeing those shifts happen in our community when it comes to helping out people.
Thank you, Zion, for sharing that. And I agree with your point of meeting the youth kind of where they are. A lot of the times, you know, we kind of point the finger at the YNs for being them, but you know, they young and they got that energy. It's how we help them to harness that. And so right now I currently work for a nonprofit on the west side called Project Exploration. Their main focus is in STEM, but we also have a community arm. And through that, I run the My Shop, My Future, or co-lead the My Shop, My Future Safe Spaces program. And that's basically a fancy way of saying that I work with youth to plan fun and free events for families and teens in Austin. This upcoming spring break, we're going to be doing, you know, 7 to 8 different events to get the youth involved. That's college tours, and just working with the different community organizations. Before I got into this work with youth, I was working in business, working on Chicago Avenue. There's a development there called Soul City, and I was the youngest person in the room. I was around all these business owners. You know, I started when I was in college, and then I transitioned to this role now, working with youth, and I'm the oldest person in the room. You know, they try to call me Unc, but I'm like, I'm not Unc yet. I'm Big Road. Don't put that Unc on me yet. And so, you know, it's just beautiful to go through that transition and to be able to give back to them. And working in business so long is why I ended up starting a business. And so, you know, a lot of my youth, outside of us just planning events and giving them a job for the summer, they have businesses. So it's like, how can I invest into them and help them, you know, get their LLC, help them get a website, help them get their Instagram, and give them business resources so that they can go out and be great.
I think that's great. I think a lot of reaching the youth and reaching the audience that you want to impact has to do with humbling yourselves to their level. And that's not to say that they're at a lower level. I don't think anybody is better than anybody, but I was having a conversation with one of my mentors the other day, and I was telling her that I want to get in front of the youth and really impact them and inspire them to be able to accomplish their dreams. And she told me that I have to figure out what makes me carnal, what makes me able to relate to them, because if I go in front of them like this, they are going to say that I am a person that may not have had any struggles in life, and they might not relate, and they might not see what makes me similar to them. And so I think just being able to really just be able to look within and figure out what struggles that you might have had when you were at their level. So in middle school, were you struggling with low self-esteem? Were you looking on Instagram and comparing yourself to all of these different girls? Were you looking, even now, are you looking and comparing yourself? What makes you struggle so that you can actually relay that to audiences and really relate to them? And strength, it takes a lot of strength to be vulnerable. So I think just looking within and figuring out what makes you different is how you can relate to others. And I think the second piece is what Zion said, which is really getting in front of those people and figuring out who exactly you want to impact, and knowing that it goes deeper than social media. You can make as many posts as you want to all day, but at the end of the day, if you're not in front of those people and you're not actually, you know, coming up on their timeline, they might not see exactly, you know, what you're talking about. So it takes getting in those rooms. It takes humbling yourself so that you're relatable and that they don't look at you with some person up here and, you know, they're still down here. So I think just being able to, number one, know what makes you similar to them, and then actually getting in front of them to make that impact.
That we miss it all the time. And I think it's self-development, starting with yourself, right? We've been having organizations for years. We've been having clubs for years. You get what I'm saying? Different programs for years. But how much have we been working on ourselves in those organizations, in those programs, right? And what have you. So when I do my work, it's focusing on self-development. The quicker you change yourself, the quicker you change yourself, the quicker I change myself, the automatic change happens. But I think too many times we generalize stuff, or we make it exterior, we put it out, and it sounds like a cliche, start with yourself, but I think that's really what it comes down to. And so that's the unexpected thing that I'm learning. It's like, man, it's self-development. How many people don't take personal accountability? How many people don't work on the areas that are quote-unquote weaknesses and see how they can turn them into strengths? And this is where we'll start to see a lot of progress. So that's my unexpected thing that I'm starting to see. And that's why, like I said again, it's my duty to attack that personal development.
Yeah, no, that personal development is important. And I guess before I answer the question, I'll give some background. So I grew up in Dallas, Texas. And so if y'all know anything about Texas, it's football and faith. But my parents came from Tulsa. And so when I got an opportunity, you know, I just wanted to play football after school. And so I got an offer letter from a school in Chicago saying, you know, hey, if you come here, you know, you can play. It's a good school. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, man, I just got shot. Do I want to go to Chicago and risk that again? Because all I was listening to was Chief Keef. You know, I'm thinking the city dangerous. And, you know, but man, I love Chicago. I've been on the west side for about 8 years now. Met my wife in school. Shout out to my wife, Sierra. And so, you know, I'm saying all this to say I got involved on the west side, and particularly on Chicago Avenue, where there's an economic development project called Soul City. There was a business organization called the Austin African American Business Networking Association, and its executive director, Malcolm Crawford, that said, we got a Greek town, Chinatown, Little Italy, Ukrainian village. Where is that place for African Americans? And so it was in that I just jumped right in and was working on that for a number of years. And one of the things that surprised me, I'm getting to the point now, is that when I was doing all of this work, it still feels like, you know, us as black people, we feel like it's not for us. You know, we done changed the streets. We got a black-owned gym there. You know, TNC Fitness. We got 40 Acres Fresh Market that's coming. We have a black-owned coffee shop. But these businesses are not feeling the support from the community because they feel like, oh, this new stuff is coming in. That's not for us. That's for somebody else. So I think we have to get out of that mindset that we don't deserve nice things, that it always has to be, you know, ghetto and ratchet for it to be us. No, we can have nice things too. And so I think, Zion, to your point, that's that self-development of realizing our self-worth and supporting the businesses that are in our community.
Yeah, I think one of the things I did not realize as a youth journalist was that there are going to be a lot of people who aren't necessarily invested in your dream and your vision as you are. And this journey of chasing your dreams and going against the status quo and trying to impact people is going to take a lot of self-belief. You have to wake up every morning and tell yourself, I know the life that I envision for myself is possible. If you don't tell yourself that, no nobody else is gonna believe it, because you have to walk with that confidence even when you don't feel it, even when you aren't thinking that you are gonna accomplish your goals for the day, even if you're having a low moment, a low morning, if you are hearing negative thoughts, you have to have the strength to say, I know that I can do whatever I put my mind to, and that's going to just be contagious to everybody around you. So I didn't think that I would kind of experience as many people kind of looking at me crazy when I tell them that I have this podcast or that I'm a speaker. And I think part of it was me, when I got that far in the space, I kind of started to expect that people wouldn't believe in me, and my confidence got lower, and I had to really do some self-evaluation and really some prayer too. And you know what I'm saying? Like, my confidence comes from God and His purpose comes from God. And this was deposited inside me. This is something that I cannot help, because if I could, I would live an ordinary life. But I was not made to live an ordinary life. I was made to accomplish my dreams. So, and inspire other people to do the same thing. So I think a lot of it comes down to that self-belief that we deserve nice things, especially as Black women. We feel like we have to struggle for everything, and you know, I have to struggle is my birthright, and people place these strong stereotypes on us, and it's like, I don't want to be strong all the time. Like, I don't have to do that all the time. Like, my dreams can flow to me. So I think that part of it is just trusting the process, trusting God, and just trusting that no matter how many people try to count you out, or they may not necessarily believe in you, you just have to believe in yourself and block out the haters, because they will hate.
All right, so at this point, we gotta let you guys know what you guys were hearing. So first, we started off with talking about our personal journey. Then we went on to talk about generational impact. And then we went on to talk about our community transformation. So next, I gotta let you guys know, I wanted to ask you guys about mindset shifting. And we spoke on community transformation. It really starts with being in people's spaces and making sure that you can be there, embodying spirit for these young adults, for these people who are really going through their own traumas and their own personal things, which is something that you would never be able to tap into behind a screen. So I wanted to talk about, again, mindset shifting.
So for like me, like I said, I'm in the Nation of Islam, so we're taught that we're gods, right? We're gods, children of the Most High God. So once I came into that understanding, like, I'm a God in my own right, serving the Most High God, gods ain't broke. God produced what He thought, right? He created all of this. And so now I started learning I'm a producer, right? I started learning I can think myself through problems to get solutions. I can think myself beyond my current circumstance and produce what I want. That's what God does. He creates, right? So knowing who you are, I think is number one, right? Because when you see who you are, you can start to walk with a little more confidence, right? When you understand that it's your right? It's your birthright to have nice things. It's your birthright to accomplish goals, right? But if you don't know who you are, then you're gonna struggle with some self-identity. So I would say that's number one. That mental shift happens with that. But two, seeing your potential put in front of you. When I went to college, that was the first time that I saw Black excellence. Never saw it before, never knew it was a possibility. I didn't know that was the potential I could reach. I didn't know I could dress nice and wear suits and wear slacks. All I knew was Nike Techs and Wheat Tims and all of that, you know what I mean? Levi jeans, you know what I mean? I didn't even think of myself as having some type of professional side to me. But once I discovered my potential, I'm like, man, look how I started to see how far I was off, right? And I can start moving in the right direction. So that's where the mental shift takes place for me. You gotta know who you are, right? You develop a standard for yourself. Once you know who you are, you have no more excuses, right? To keep giving bare minimum. And then two, you gotta recognize your potential, right? Whether it's you listening to Eric Thomas, right? Is you listening to TD Jakes, whoever you want to listen to, right? But it has to be put in front of you. You got to be exposed to the potential that lies within you, and then you'll start to grow into that through self-development. So that's what I'm going to say.
All right, you all. So we've been here for some time. How you guys feeling about our panelists?
They're doing excellent.
I thought so. I knew. When we chose and selected these people, that these people would be people that would empower you all and change you all's mindsets. Hopefully, y'all can take something away from this. But moving forward, I want to go towards faith and leadership. Faith.
I recognize all that I have is because of God. I call him by Allah, but if you call him Jehovah, we're talking about the same person. All right, we're talking about the Most High. So me, I can't separate it. I can't hide who's been blessing me and who's been protecting me and who's been giving me everything that I have. So I more so take the approach, if you don't rock with me for who I am and my belief system, then we don't got to do business. You was living without me before you encountered me, and so we'll keep going. So for me, I gotta always give all praises due to Allah. I always gotta give the glory back to God. And like she said, I'm not, saying, open your Bibles up to whatever, but you'll see it in how I conduct myself if I'm a man of faith. Right? Because at the root of all religions, all spirituality, whatever we say, is treating others how you want to be treated. And if we all move like that, then our faith will be shown in the right way as we go throughout our interactions with people. But for me, I can't separate it. I can't be quiet about God. When you in the courtroom, we put our hand on the Bible. When you get inaugurated, you got your hand on the Bible. Right? We pledge allegiance under a God. So I can't hide God, and I believe that for me, I have to be bold in my walk of faith because I can't hide who blesses me. So.
All right, so I know that we're running short on time, but I don't feel like it would be right if I didn't ask you guys this question. So I want you all to consider or ponder. Tell the audience your name, and tell the audience what do you want to be known for, and then lastly, what are some upcoming events or things that you guys are going to be a part of that they can join up or also show support to. So again, your name, what do you want to be known for, and then any development or anything coming up for you guys in the future.
My name is Zion King. I'm a self-development coach. Forgive me. And I want to be known for just helping as many people as possible. Somebody helped me along the way, and I feel like it's my duty to help those. Particularly, I serve youth, but I actually did a consultation last month with a single mom. She was like 41 or 42, and that felt real good. You know what I mean? So I'm not boxing myself in. I just want to help as many humans as possible reach their goals through creating a solid plan of action, helping as many people as possible see themselves in their proper light, and to help them begin to walk in their journey. Some things I have upcoming, I'm not going to spill what me, you, and Corey got going on.
We got something coming up, though.
We got something coming up for sure. I'm also going to be starting a podcast soon. I thought about it too long, but this is my confirmation, from Sister Sullivan. And be on the lookout for my book. I'm working on a book and an ebook. And so this was also my confirmation from Brother Corey. He really inspired me. They said back in the 90s, ain't nothing to it but to do it. So just be on the lookout. But you can follow me on Instagram, GTWT official. It stands for Getting Out the Traditional Way of Thinking. And you can see some of my latest stuff. I'm educating every day, but thanks.
I think you need to better. I don't think I saw enough people pull out their phones when he said, follow me on Instagram at GT. I need people to pull out their phones right now, so support to our brother at GTWT official.
Thank you.
All right, let's pass it. Do I not see somebody pulling out their... No.
Man, since y'all got y'all phones out after y'all follow Zion, y'all go ahead and type in Community Corey next and follow me. You can visit my website, communitycorey.com, and subscribe to my mailing list that I send out often. Like I said, we'll be doing some things for spring break for the youth. I also have some products on there that are family friendly, and y'all should get them for your youth. What do I want to be known for? Similar to what you said, Zion, spreading love and just being a light in the world is something that I want to be known for.
Well, I y'all can follow me on Instagram too, but follow my professional page. It's called Sullivan Grace Speaks. And I get really active on there, really just putting out videos that can reach everybody because my target audience is Gen Z, and a lot of times we are on them phones. So it's really good to post on TikTok and Instagram. But as far as in-person events and collaboration, if any of you all have access to a youth group, I would love to speak to them. So feel free to collaborate with me after. I'm really trying to build my resume as far as speaking and just getting that credibility. So I would love to collaborate with you all. And then as far as a legacy, to answer your question, Ian, I think that it is very important for all of us. If you're in this room, you obviously have some dreams for yourself and you have things that you want to accomplish and you have goals for yourself. And during moments like this, it's really, easy to say that this is, the goal that I have for myself and this is a dream and I got everything I need after this event. And, these spaces are very empowering, but a lot of times we are the only ones in our environments that think the way we do. And these moments of intensity, sometimes it can fade because you are, surrounded by people who may just not see the world the way that you do. But I just want to be that person that can remind all of us to just take a look within and recognize that the power you hold and the way that God made you is no mistake, and you are made to spread love, as was said on this panel, and spread light and be that person that can inspire the change within others. So legacy is really important to me, and that's a huge goal that I have for myself.
Is empowering others through financial literacy and the Word of God. He applies his expertise as the owner and designer for Over East, where he continues to make an impact in both business and personal development. So without further ado, I want to announce not only my brother, but one of my family, man. Over East, man, how you doing? This is a warm welcome. I want to keep this energy going. I want to keep the energy going, y'all. Alright, so next, we got one of our brothers. We
want to be very intentional with this. We have a lot of young people doing amazing things in the community. We're all within entrepreneurs and leaders. So one thing many people might ask is, what is something, tell us about yourself and what got you into entrepreneurial mindset at such a young age, and how you see that for other young people to apply it to their life.
Hope everybody doing good tonight. Nice to be here. Blessed to be here. Appreciate my boy Corey and Ian. What I would say got me into entrepreneurship at a very young age was, first off, I dropped out of college my first semester. You know what I'm saying? So I was a freshman dropping out. And coming home just sparked the motivation in me to be like, all right, cool, I need to, do something. But I always knew that I wanted to be financially free. I just didn't know how I was going to do it. So I started 2 businesses when I came home, drop shipping, which totally failed, and my clothing brand, as y'all can see, Over East. That's what I sticked with the most, and that was like mostly my passion. But then going into business, I noticed how much capital was important to grow, to market everything, to sell everything, making sure you got high quality products. You want to make sure that you invest into your business just as much as you invest in time. You want to invest that money into it as well. So that's what got me into the, credit biz and getting access to capital to invest. And I help other entrepreneurs do that as well. So rather than real estate, starting a clothing brand, whatever they want to do, you're going to need capital to do that, especially if you want to grow. So that's what, got me into it.
Entrepreneurship, and I'm speaking, doing foresight training, doing consulting, but kind of really started with that book and just really opening my eyes to how do you get wealthy and what am I missing? And I realized we're not letting the money work for us. So, yeah.
So first off, it's wonderful to see all of you guys here. This is beautiful. If you guys can just give yourself a round of applause for being here. To get into the question about how I got into entrepreneurship, into being in politics and helping people create their branding and that messaging that led into the community. And I cannot leave out my purpose. Bringing my purpose into my business is what helped me flourish, and that's the reason why it's here today. So that's where it all started. It started at home with the ultimatum, and we're here now.
I love what you all are doing, and now that everyone knows what you all do, what would you say is 3 things that people can do to get started in what your industry is?
I'm going first again. The first thing I would say, basically what she said, finding your purpose. That will help you definitely figure out what you want to do, especially when it comes to the business aspect. Finding your purpose is going to set that path for you, and God is going to direct your steps throughout that whole path. So I'll say find your purpose. I know I'm in the credit game and I get businesses funded, but I would definitely say, getting your credit right so you can have access to capital to invest, and then invest into your dreams, invest into that business and that purpose, and then finally network. You know what I'm saying? That's how I'm here today, meeting Corey and Ian, and a lot of other people, and I'm definitely gonna network here again. There's a lot of people, amazing people in this room, so make sure y'all networking and talking to people, especially tonight. Make sure y'all talking to everybody, and then just always, God is gonna always bring y'all opportunities, especially through people. So again, just network.
Really give you guys some strategies and techniques that really have helped me. And I was just talking to my boy David back there about this too. So first one, prepare yourself to take the risk. So what do I mean by that? So I'm in real estate, I have property, but in order for me to invest in the property, I had to look ahead and realize, okay, what do I need to do in order to get this property, get the cash, get the credit, get my income statement, get my taxes. I need to think ahead. And one of the things I always ask, how many of you guys have taken a history class like in school? Has anybody taken a foresight or futuristic class? Nobody. So some of the work that I also do is foresight. And what I mean by foresight is thinking ahead and looking at signals of the future and signals of your life. So for me, just to take a step back, as I'm in high school, had to make a decision. Do I go to the 4-year college? Do I go to the 2-year college? Do I go to the trades? What do I do? I decided to go the 2-year route. Okay, the 2-year route isn't as popular as going to Northwestern, University of Iowa, University of Illinois, but guess what the 2-year college brought? Had a full-ride scholarship. Guess what that full-ride scholarship did? Gave me income and scholarships from that college, so I actually got paid to go to that 2-year college. So as I'm getting paid to go to this 2-year college, I'm working at Chick-fil-A, then I got to the bank, and then as I went to my 4-year college, I also got a scholarship to that, but I was strategic about that. And my parents really helped me pay. You need to think about like what the long-term effects of your decisions are. Because we're always looking back, but you need to be looking forward about, okay, what's gonna help you build wealth, right? So when my dad passed away, I went to this 4-year college. While I was at the 4-year college, I had to decide, okay, am I going to spend money on stuff that I don't need? Or am I gonna spend money and go to conferences, read books, get in front of people that are in real estate? And that's how we met Corey, going to events. So, and that all led to putting me in a situation 6 months after I graduated college to get my first duplex that I'm now cash flowing $2,000. But people are looking at that, and you'll look at if you look on my Instagram, you'll see, oh my gosh, he's got these properties, he's killing it. You're not gonna see the steps that I had to take before that. Right. So I wanna let you guys know, hey, what are you preparing yourself for today for your future self at the end of 2025? Because I had to make sure my credit was right, cash was there, but I wanted, first step, prepare for the risk. Second step is the risk. It was tough, y'all. My family didn't have property, right? I'm in this bank, I'm around people that have property, but I don't know language about property. So what do I have to do? Okay, I need to get my head in this book. I need to read. And one of the things my dad always told me before he passed away, a closed mouth never gets fed. So if you don't open your mouth and ask for help, ask for mentors, ask for properties, ask for property managers, ask for loan officers that can help you, you're not gonna get anywhere. So I had to take the risk to ask and get in rooms like this where I'm meeting people that are in real estate, are in business, and that led to me eventually getting properties, and there's a whole story behind that. But second step is taking the risk, and the third thing, delegation. I'm not a property guy. I do not know how to fix a toilet. I do not know how to fix a roof. That's not my game. But guess what? I know people that can do that because I network, and going back to the first step, I planned ahead. Hey, I need to make sure I'm networking with this plumber. I need to make sure I'm networking with property managers. So now when a situation comes up, like a raccoon was in my property, and I'm freaking out, oh, let me call my realtor that helped me with the property that also is an investor, and ask him, hey, like, what do we do about raccoons in the property? Pest control. Let me give you a guy that I know and let you get introduced to him. He gives me a discount. Next thing you know, the issue's gone. With delegation, right? I'm not a social media guy at all. I might probably need to talk to you after this too. I need to delegate some stuff in order for me to fully lean into, okay, you're an investor, you're a speaker, you're a leadership coach. Do the things you're naturally gifted at and delegate the other stuff. Like, if you're not a credit guy, talk to the credit guy. But people, we try to take so much on as people, and it's like, no, like, live into your God-gifted talents, delegate the rest of the stuff, because there are people that are naturally gifted at the stuff that you're not good at that will kindly help you. So take the risk, right? Prepare for the risk, and then delegate.
I want to say 3 words: story, audit, and purpose. And the reason why I'm saying that is because I don't want to forget it as I'm going on. So if I go off track, remember: story, audit, purpose. I need somebody to help me with story, audit, purpose. The first thing is understand your story. And the reason why I say understand your story is because a lot of the time we have these experiences and we have these things that go on that we're ashamed of. And we're like, I don't want to tell nobody about that. And I don't want to talk to people about that. I don't want people to know that. But that's a part of your story. That's a part of your experience. You know, we want to post on social media the cute things and the nice things, and I got this award and I did this, but did nobody see when you was crying last night ready to quit? So that's the first thing, is the story. Document your story, remember your story, feel those moments of your story, because those are going to be the moments that are going to push you forward. And then when you get to where you're going, that next part is that audit part. You have to audit yourself. I do, just like with my clients, I do a quarterly audit. Where are we at? Where do we want to be? How are we going to get there? What are the things that didn't work? What are the things that did work? Do a personal audit on yourself. And what a personal audit looks like is, what are the skills that you have right now? What do you have in your inventory? What do you have in your toolbox? You know, the tools that you have right now, the skill set that you have. But also, what is it that you have that you know needs to be brushed up? Or what is it that you don't have that somebody else may have? Where can you learn that from? So the second thing is audit. Purpose. Last thing is purpose. Your purpose is going to take you further than any degree, certificate, course, whatever it is that everybody says that you need. If you have your purpose, you don't need it. You don't need all the stuff, all the glitter, you know, all the razzle dazzle, because you're the razzle dazzle. So, like I said, story, audit, purpose. With those 3 things, because a lot of the times you can have the education, you can have the experience, but if you don't have the confidence of who you are and where you've been and know what you know, you're gonna be in those rooms and you're gonna be the very person that you need to be in there talking to everybody, and you're gonna be trying to hide out in the bathroom. Well, you need to be out networking. You need to be telling people your story. So, story, audit, purpose.
I love that. You learn a lot of things that's out of our control. What is your mindset as an entrepreneur to navigate through tough times and building yourself up to stay towards success?
I'm a strong believer of God, you know, child of God. So that's what Overeast is mainly about. You know, I try to spread fashion and the word of God, you know, together. So that's how I try to reach people, and that's like my purpose. So my main, but my favorite Bible verse is, I walk by faith, not by sight. You know what I'm saying? We go through a lot and we see a lot, but God knows everything. He knows the past, the present, and the future. You know what I'm saying? We only know the past and we only in the present. Like, we don't even know what's gonna happen when we leave this event. You know what I'm saying? But God does. You know, and He correlates everything, and, you know, bring the people in your life, bring you in these environments for things that's gonna happen 10 years from now. We don't even know that. You know what I'm saying? So when I'm going through tough times and when I'm going through, you know, with business, you know, when things don't go right, oh damn, I just, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a lot. You know, we all go through it. And it was like, I had this planned out. Now we gotta just change the whole thing around. You know what I'm saying? But the whole time it was God purpose. Like, I remember so many times going through business things and business opportunities, and they failed. And I was like, damn, why did they fail? I had this like perfectly planned out.
But then that opened a whole nother door that I needed. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even know I needed that door to be open. You know, so just walking by faith and not by sight throughout the whole thing, through the bad and the good, that's what gets me through, you know, everything as an entrepreneur.
One of the things that I realized in the last panel, they talked about it perfectly. I hope you guys are listening. Self-development. I don't know the design stuff. I know. Yep. Self-development. So, what does that mean? I want to give you guys some practical stuff. When my dad passed away, my wife now pushed me to go see a counselor. I'm like, I'm not going to go see a counselor. Like, never grew up. My mom wasn't in. My dad didn't see a counselor. I was just like, I don't need to go to therapy. No, I needed to go to therapy. And what did that allow me to do? It allowed me to process some trauma that I had inside, a lot of grief, right? And what did that allow me to do when I got into rooms and started networking and doing stuff? It allowed me to be my full self because I got that trauma and grief out of there, and now I can show up as my full self. So like, therapy, like get help. We all have stuff we have to work through, and we cannot just talk to our family, we cannot just talk to our friends. We need to hire professionals. Goes back to my other point, delegate. Like, I delegate, I have a counselor, I have a business coach, I have my accountant, right? I have a leadership coach. And they're like, man, Ty, you're spending $500 a month on all this. Yeah, I am, right? And that's gonna see dividends as 2025 happens, as 2026 happens, as stuff happens, like family stuff happens, kid, whatever it might be, you're gonna have challenges. You need to have that support system. And one of those support systems for me, therapy, business coach, like got my accountant, got a leadership mastermind, right? So practical stuff for you guys. Go find, like if it's not a therapist, like business coach, life coach, but find someone that can keep you accountable as things happen, because as things happen, even my real estate journey, property didn't end up the way I wanted it to. Business coach, leadership coach, hey, let's keep back to the same thing. Let's keep going to networking. Let's talk to your realtor. Gave me the confidence when I didn't have the confidence, because we all have those big moments where it's just like, why am I here? Leadership coach, business coach, therapist all help within that. And I think that's important for you guys to realize as you go out, is getting that accountability circle so that you can be your full self. And he talked about self-development. So that's one thing I would do as 2025 challenges happen.
So it's funny because the question that you asked, me and my homegirls were talking the other day. And one of my friends, actually a lot of friends in my group, are now starting to have their own businesses. And one of my friends has a nickname for me that I didn't know she had. She finally told me it the other day. I didn't know how to feel about it until she explained it. And she was like, you know, I call you Mercedes quit a job joiner. I was like, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. She was like, you know, every couple years you would just quit. And I was like, yeah, I didn't know y'all was paying attention to that. But I shared that is because the way that she explained it, she was like, if a space wasn't working for you, you made a move and you didn't stay. And oftentimes we stay in these environments because we think that we have to, or we think that, you know, this is what's gonna work right now, let me get comfortable. The best thing you can do is get comfortable with being uncomfortable. So, and she explained it to me, she was like, you know, I get why you would quit now. She was like, because she has her business and her business is doing really, really well. And you know, she's even gotten some of my clients, because I don't like event planning and she doesn't do event planning. I'm like, take these people's marketing, branding, me, event planning. And she's like, I get it. And she was like, you pivot. She's like, I just thought that you just quit because you didn't want to be there. She was like, but I understood that if an environment isn't fitting you, you cannot grow in it. And she was like, I understood now that you were removing yourself so you can grow. It's like the soil that you're in for a plant. Sometimes you gotta change the soil out. And I was like, you know, I didn't realize that y'all were thinking it like that, but yeah, that's exactly what it is I know how to pivot. I adapt quickly. I'm a Gemini. I adapt quick. Like, if it's not working, we need to switch it up. What is going to work? So for 2025, my thing is adapting. And one of the things that I've had to make the decision to do now, because for the last year I've been an entrepreneur. I've always been an entrepreneur and have a 9 to 5. Always, multiple streams of income. And last year I decided, I was like, you know what, we're gonna take 1 full year and just be an entrepreneur. Y'all, it was hard. It was so hard. It was wonderful though. But then what I made the decision to go back into corporate. So now I'm an entrepreneur and I'll be working with a school district, which is great. But in that year, I learned that as an entrepreneur, as a business, as a person, not only do you have to adapt and pivot, but when you're doing those personal audits of yourself, you have to do that of your environment and the people around you. What's pouring into you? Because sometimes we're pouring so much into other people that we're not pouring into ourselves. And with that self-development, I'm in social media and I'm in marketing, and I have to educate my clients, but I also have to educate myself. What am I putting into me? As an entrepreneur, what am I doing with my time? What is my schedule? Am I scheduling to rest? Because we don't schedule to rest. We don't schedule to go to therapy. Like, I have a client who is a mental health specialist. And I was telling him, you gotta rest, you gotta rest, you gotta do this. And then I had him do all these things that he's uncomfortable with. You know, he's a therapist, and he's my client. He used to be my therapist. And now he's like, did you rest? And I was like, yes. I don't like that. So it's resting, taking that time to rest. And when I say rest, I mean really rest. Cut the phone off, tear your brain off, don't talk to nobody. Because, you know, entrepreneurs sometimes, or parents or people, the only time we sometimes get is the bathroom time or in the shower. You're just like, my brain is going and going and going. But you have to rest, because if you're not resting, you're not refueling. You're not being able to tap into that self-development, you know. And even with faith, faith is one thing. That faith, I call it a faith walk. The faith walk is one of the hardest walks that you're going to take as an entrepreneur, because it's going to challenge you in ways that you never even knew. It's going to have, I've had some days where I'm like, I work for myself and I'm ready to quit. I'm done. I don't want to do it. All of y'all figure it out. But then it's like, okay, let me come back to my purpose. Let me come back to my story. I'm not just doing this for me. I'm doing this for people other than me, people who came before me, who made the way for me, but people who are coming after me. And that's the same thing with everybody in this room. You're not just doing it for you. And this is the thing, the seeds.
We can continue to work and elevate and continue to recirculate our money back in our communities for economic development, and how can we collaborate for growth in the community?
That's a good question, and that's something that I have been, you know, trying to work out. I ain't gonna say on my own, but with my team. You know, shout out out of the churches. You know what I'm saying? He definitely one of the ones. So he one of the ones who reach the youth, and like we call it the churches. You know what I'm saying? Y'all call me YN. You know I'm young, but we call it the churches, the hood. You feel me? But he doing a good job of showing what's going on. Like him here being here today. Like when I was growing up, I didn't even think about stuff like this. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even think this exists. And then last year I went to Invest Fest in Atlanta, and I'm like, let me move to Atlanta. Let me you feel me? Like, it was so powerful seeing like that black community come together and so much black success. And I'm thinking it's only in Atlanta, you know? But then I really started networking in my own city, you know, meeting people like you guys, you know, and coming to events like this. And I seen how much it really is here. It really is here in our city, and the youth need to see it more. You know, the older generation needs to see it more. My generation needs to see it more. So again, shout out to other churches, but also, you know, what Zion said, you know, going in front of the youth, going in front of people and showing them this. You know what I'm saying? So that's what my team is trying to do more. We're trying to, you know, give back, but with the knowledge as well, you know what I'm saying? So we can prepare them for the financial literacy. And what I was looking at, I was on 63rd the other day, and I was looking, they building it up, you know what I'm saying, around there a little bit. And I'm like, damn, like, okay, like I love to see that. And I was talking to one of my business partners, and we get into real estate, and man, I want, like, I don't know, I used to hear like when they build up, the white people can move in, they can move the black community out. Nah, how about we educate our community on how they can afford these nice houses, you know what I'm saying? And now we building up the community, and everybody living in a nice house. Now these communities are nice houses, and the people living in there is still the black community, and they can financially afford it. So that's my goal, you know what I'm saying? And I want to start with the youth, you know, because that's where it starts at, but wherever I can do that, that's where I want to have my biggest impact at, for sure. Again, my name is Justin Vincent. You can follow me at Justo the CEO. You can look forward to my clothing brand. But the only thing I do want to say, I want to tell y'all 3 things before I you know, pass this mic on. It's the value of wisdom, right? And we can all receive wisdom 3 ways. There's personally what I learned and what God has told me recently, and I always want to share it whenever I get an opportunity to, because it's so valuable. But the first way to wisdom is in that word. You know what I'm saying? Whatever word y'all reading, it's in that word. If we read that word, you know, we can prevent a lot of things from happening, and we can also be prepared for those situations that are going to happen, because it's life. You know what I'm saying? The other way, what she said, listen to the elders, and not even elders, anyone talking to you. Don't pay attention and focus on the messenger, focus on the message. No matter who talking, I don't care if it's a crackhead on the street, you can learn how not to be a crackhead from a crackhead, you know what I'm saying? So listen, but if you don't listen and you don't read the word, you gonna unfortunately might have to go through a situation. Not saying it's gonna be bad, it might be good, but you're gonna have to learn from that situation. So those 3 things, you know what I'm saying, you can prevent that situation from happening if you stay in your word or you listening to the people who God bless you in your life. But, you know, just shout out Over East, my clothing brand. Again, my name is Justin Vincent. Y'all can follow me on Instagram at Justo the CEO.
So TyLewie, you can follow me at TyLewie on IG. I'm also on LinkedIn, and my website is TyLewie.com. So you can find me on those platforms. The thing I want to close with, and I want to emphasize this really, and I already talked about it a little bit, but what I want you guys to do is, you guys got some information tonight, right? You got something that, man, I got some inspiration, I got some strategies, I met somebody else. Like, what I want you to do is go tell someone that wasn't here about tonight. So what that's going to do is, one, it's going to allow you to remember, oh man, I remember Corey talking about this, Zion, I remember Sullivan talked about this, or the entrepreneurship panel talked about this. So it's going to allow you to remember stuff. And then when you tell somebody else, they might have some more questions for you. So now you guys just started some accountability, right? And accountability allows you to continue to execute when things slip up, right? You start to pivot, right? So what I want you guys to do, tell somebody about this event. Talk to them about Corey, talk to them about what you learned today, and ask them, like, man, let me just express what I learned today and just how you can hold me accountable. Because I don't want you guys walking off and like, man, this is a good event. Well, I'm going back to my same habits I've been doing. You know, I'm gonna do the same thing I've been doing. I'm still gonna be broke. I'm still gonna, I don't want that. Go tell one of your closest people, or go tell somebody that's gonna keep you in check. Like for me, I'm gonna go tell probably my best friend, like, yo, I talked about like what you told me to check my goals, like, and I'm gonna do an audit, right? That's what I'm gonna do. And I want you guys to do something similar to that. So you guys can stay accountable, but not only that, now you're helping somebody else. Because they might need to hear, oh, they talked about this story and like, I need to get in my word, or I need to talk to my elders. That might help them transform, right? So do something for somebody else after you leave tonight.
So everything is Mercedes Joyner. I'm not even gonna give you out my business page because nobody follows it. Just Mercedes, everything is Mercedes Joyner. I would say a quote that my dad we always talk about, and I've quoted, I stole it from him, but it's okay. He always says, with anything you do, make a difference, but do no harm. So with anything that you do, make a difference, but don't harm anybody. And in that, what I will say is, everybody in this room had an opportunity to wake up this morning because you're here. What are you going to do with it? There, unfortunately, are people who did not wake up this morning. You woke up this morning, whatever obstacles or whatever happened, you are here. No matter how you got here, whatever happened earlier, you leave that at the door. You are here, you are in this moment, and you have so many opportunities and blessings, not only for yourself, but for other people. Everybody in here has an idea or something that you're sitting on. You have something within you right now where you've been hesitant, and you're like, ooh, I don't know if I should do it. I don't know. Do it. Do it. It's not a how I should do it. It's a when. Prepare to do it. You just gotta jump. You gotta jump. Put a life jacket on before you jump. But you have to jump, because if you sit in your comfort zone, you're never gonna get out of it. And then you're gonna look 30, 40 years from now and be like, I wish I would have. I should have. Don't wish you should have done something that you could have done now. With the world that we have, with the technology, with everything, you can take that risk and bounce back from it, because the risks now, they're not as bad as you think. We just get in our head and we start thinking, oh, I'm gonna fail, I'm gonna fail. Who cares if you fail? Fail faster so you can succeed quicker. Like, so.